Hello, I am Majid 2006. Welcome to the channel What We Are Why. Marriage is a massive commitment, and there needs to be complete understanding between the partners before they commit to it. But are you noticing signs he does not want to marry you? You might be ready to commit to him for eternity, but he seems unsure. Falling in love with a person is comparatively easier than staying in love with them for the rest of their lives. Marriage is such a commitment that it needs several discussions, judgments, and considerations before making the final wedding plans. However, if you notice your partner trying to avoid the topic of marriage or getting irritated as and whenever you bring it up, it might be a sign that he is not ready for the commitment yet. Check for these signs that often indicate that he is not interested in marrying you. They will help you make the right decision. 1. He doesn't believe in marriage. Does he say marriage is not his cup of tea or that it's a formality to keep two people tied to a relationship? If yes, it shows his disbelief in marriage. He might be in love with you but does not see marriage as a necessary way to be bonded together or to live together. 2. When he talks about his future, he doesn't talk about you. When he talks about what he wants to be doing 5 years from now, your name should pop up. Otherwise, he must not think that you'll last long. 3. He never shares his emotional space. Every strong relationship revolves around some common ingredients: trust, loyalty, understanding, love, care, romance, surprises, and family. If he never shares his emotional feelings with you, he doesn't want you to be a part of his emotional space. Irrespective of the reason, it reflects a lack of commitment with you. Mutual trust is important for maintaining a long relationship. Remember, if he wishes for a never-ending relationship with you, he will want to give you his time and want you to hear all that is in his heart. 4. They avoid the topic of marriage altogether. Let's say you go to a wedding together, or you're watching a swoon-worthy rom-com, and you casually mention to your partner that you can't wait for your own big day. Or maybe you ask them what they envision for their own wedding. If you're met with awkward silence or an abrupt subject change, that's a sign your partner is not comfortable with the topic. It could also mean that they're not comfortable talking about that topic with you, specifically. Think about it. When you are excited about something, all you want to do is talk about it. So, this could be a bad sign that your partner isn't ready for that next step, says Sassoon. I would directly ask them about your future, and if you envision ever getting married. It will save you a lot of grief and heartache if you figure out where they stand on the subject. 5. He doesn't handle conflicts well. Does he prefer to run and hide over having serious conversations with you over your emotions? If he can't talk to you like an adult, he won't make a very good husband. 6. You're his rebound. If you know you're his kiss and diss, don't expect him to think serious after a long relationship. It might improve in time, but for now, he's definitely not thinking of marriage after his heart was broken. 7. His eyes regularly wander. You always feel he's not focused on you when you're together in public. His eyes always slip here and there. He flirts with everyone they see. Do you seriously want to marry a player? Don't expect him to get on his knees anytime soon. 8. He lies about his whereabouts when someone calls him. Someone calls him when you're together. He lies about being with you. You feel like shouting next to him, "No, he's not. He's with me, the person he's in a relation with." This is definitely not a sign that he's taking you seriously. You're far from laying your toothbrush next to his. 9. He doesn't consider you important anymore. A true lover keeps his love as his top priority. If he stops making you important in his life and makes excuses whenever you need him the most, chances are he has moved forward in his mind, and he doesn't deserve you. 10. He creates a distance. Silent behavior or keeping a distance from you is a strong sign of disinterest in you. He most likely has already made his mind up, and so he ignores you. 11. He doesn't consider your priorities. Are your future goals, dreams, plans, and aspirations important to him? A serious boyfriend will look ahead to help make your life prosperous and happy. But if he keeps himself his only priority, and doesn't share any future plans, he may not be having serious feelings for you. Don't feel surprised if you find out you're not thought about in any of his plans. 12. He doesn't introduce you to his family. When you are madly in love, you want to tell everyone about it. If you have never been introduced to any of his family members or invited you to any family occasions, he is not ready to consider marriage. 13. He is insecure. Do you often have to please him and prove to him that you are loyal? Insecurity is not a part of a healthy relationship. If your relationship requires you to beg for commitments, it shows you are not an important part of his life. 14. He uses you like an option. Does your boyfriend keep demanding from you and doesn't care about your emotional feelings? If he only thinks about his needs and not about yours, he may not have plans to marry you. Becoming an option is not a good idea, and keeping up hopes that he will marry you one day is not healthy. 15. He brings up his ex. If your boyfriend often talks about his ex-girlfriend or blames her for becoming uncaring and silent, it could be a reason to stay away and move on from thinking about marriage. A guy who doesn't want to leave the past behind, even after your constant efforts, may not have you in his future plans. 16. He suddenly stops taking you for outings. Every couple goes on dates and meets alone to spend quality time together. Dates help a couple discuss personal things going on in each other's life. Many sweet memories of togetherness are created when you go on a date. Right from the beginning of your relationship, he must have taken you on dates. But if he suddenly stops seeing you, it means he's creating distance. Not going on dates is a clear sign that he's slowly basing away from you. 17. He's selfish. Getting married is putting your wife's needs before his. If it's always about him in the relationship, stop fantasizing about your marriage with him. Who would want to marry a self-centered person? 18. Your relationship is on and off. You've been with him, on and off, kicking you to the curb each time. This proves how indecisive he is. How can such a man take such a big decision? You're not a hotel room where he comes in and go out anytime he wants. 15. 19. He gets uptight when you talk about it. Every time you mention your future with him, talk about your marriage together or the names of your kids, he gets skittish and offensive. Who doesn't come up with kids' names when you hear a nice one around? Who doesn't melt when they see a cute little baby's smile? It's clear that he's not a marriage guy. 20. You don't really argue much, or ever. Fighting is a totally normal part of any relationship. The key is to argue in a calm way where both parties feel heard and progress is made. Avoiding these kinds of conversations is a recipe for disaster in any relationship. For example, it can lead to built-up resentment, withdrawal, compounding frustrations, and in some cases might be a precursor to infidelity since neither partner feels connected. Examples of avoiding fights include quickly agreeing, not bringing up important issues, and stonewalling, not listening. Take some time to explore what fighting means to your partner, suggests Batiston. Ask about their experience of seeing other relationships fighting, especially as a child. Discuss the differences between assertiveness and confrontation. What to do if he's not interested in marrying you. Some men feel shy to execute the marriage plans. In such a case, take the initiative and persuade him to marry you. Even if he's interested, he may feel hesitant. You can help him by resolving his apprehensions about marriage and give him time. If your heart says he's your true love, give him time. Try to share positive aspects of married life, and maybe his disbelief about marriage might change. He may get serious about committing, taking vows, and walking down the aisle. On the other hand, if you notice the majority of the signs mentioned above, he has no interest in having a future with you, and you may have to take an unplanned step. Do not lose hope. If he rejects you for marriage, do not keep going behind him. Let him go and wait for the right person to arrive in your life. Marriage is a sacred commitment, so make a decision only when you are confident about the person. If your partner covers 4 of these signs or less, it's normal, don't worry. No relationship is perfect. If you're living a relationship by default and seeking a serious commitment, dreaming of a family of your own, think wise of your relationship. You have to choose between giving up being a girlfriend or giving up on your dream if he's not the serious type. Keep your head high, your heart strong, your thoughts determined, and go for it, whatever it is that you finally choose. Now, if you want to be successful in romantic relationships and know more, subscribe to my channel. I made many tutorials for you. I will kiss you, my dear.